Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Ben and I love riding motorcycles. In fact, the older I get, the more I realize how closely related my mental health and seat time actually are. I literally do not feel like me unless I have time to decompress and enjoy the scenery out on one of my machines. Thing is, if you're someone that's lucky enough to call the Rust Belt home, then when the leaves start to change, you know it's time to get out the stay-bill and put the battery on a tender. But does it have to be that way? Sure, it's cold in the winter, but I have no problem riding my snowmobile when it's 10 degrees out. Why not ride my bike when it's 30 and sunny? There's plenty of heated gear available these days, and my ATV coat and pants are already windproof, so what's stopping me? Just because it's the normal? Screw that. Now, I know what you're thinking. You don't want your bike to end up looking like all the other cars and trucks out on the road that have been repainted a dusty white. But the thing is, in order for salt to really do any actual damages to your bike, a couple things have to fall into place. The roads, of course, actually have to be wet enough that your tires can kick the salt up onto the bike. You would have to ride the bike through that wet and kick up said salt brine mixture. And then you would need to let that brine sit on your bike under the proper conditions. See, road salt isn't actually all that dangerous by itself. It needs the right amount of moisture and the right temperature to really do some damage. Now, personally, I don't want to be out in the yard when it's 20 degrees out washing my bike off after a ride, but that is not at all what I'm suggesting. Think about it this way. How many days are the main roads actually wet? Wet enough to kick the salt up onto your bike and make it stick? Not that many. So why not take a short ride on the dry days? You're never going to get back what you paid for your bike anyways, so why deprive yourself of the enjoyment of riding it year-round? Especially when the next guy will probably never notice. Winter roads do wreck cars and trucks, but your bike is not a car or a truck, and I am not at all suggesting that you should drive it like one. Quite the opposite, in fact. I'm telling you to be careful, calculated, and enjoy the pastime we all love so much when you really need it most. Now, of course, we've all heard the saying, it's just like riding a bike, but to be honest, between me and you, every time I hop in a car or a truck and there is snow on the road for the first time each year, it definitely takes me a second to figure it out. And while riding a motorcycle maybe is a little bit easier to remember how to do, it definitely is something that requires sharp skills. And if you want to keep and improve those skills year-round, what could be better than taking a short ride every once in a while just to make sure you still remember how to do it, and to maybe even spend a little bit of time goofing around in a snowy parking lot or a well-frozen lake. I've learned most of my best car and truck driving skills doing exactly that, screwing around in a parking lot or doing donuts out on the ice. You're never gonna know how you or the bike are gonna react in a bad situation until you go out and practice it. Riding on the snow and riding on the ice is, of course, dangerous, but if you're going to be somebody who rides a bike year-round, I think it is imperative that we purposefully put ourselves into situations, of course with some sort of safety net and no other vehicles around, where we can make mistakes and we can improve on those mistakes. I truly think it will make you a better rider year-round and also a happier person. Now, if you haven't seen my first off-grid camping adventure, this may seem a little bit silly, but in the wintertime, there are no bugs. No bugs to stop and bite you on the side of the trail, no ticks to find in delicate places later, no bugs to worry about washing off your windscreen or your bike or your coat. Everything is just nice, crisp, clean air. Of course, you do have to watch out for frozen ruts. Those can definitely toss you pretty quickly. Now, of course, once I'm on the bike, bugs don't really bother me all that much, and I'm not really one to be too careful about keeping a bike clean or even washing it after it gets dirty, but I have to admit, I would much rather get on a bike and ride it hard off-road when it's 30 degrees compared to when it is 90 degrees in the summer. It's just not good for me, it's not good for the bike, it's not something that I get too excited about anymore. So why not trade in those hot, sticky summer days for a nice, cool, winter's day where you can ride hard and not get overheated. I don't know about you guys, but half the time I can't even get off the bike and enjoy a summer's day because I'm all loaded down with adventure gear and I need to keep moving to keep the air in my vents and keep the sweat out. Of course, you do have to properly layer and vent in the winter too, but it's just a much nicer experience. It allows you to ride hard but not get overworked. Now, of course, the proper layers in gear are imperative no matter what time of year it is, but there is something to be said for being able to just rip your coat off and immediately have 30-degree air blowing on your skin. There is nothing quite like it in the summertime, especially when you're swatting mosquitoes and dealing with a grimy, sweaty mud mixture that's caked everywhere. Another thing that I've noticed and really enjoy about winter riding is the fact that you have the trails all to yourself. I've personally been almost taken out by a few UTVs in my day, and of course you do find the odd truck bumbling around on the trails now and then, but in the wintertime, unless you end up on a snowmobile trail, which I definitely do not recommend, even if it is closed down for the season, there's not going to be anybody half as crazy as you out there riding around and enjoying the wilderness, so you will literally have it completely to yourself. And if you've ever been at a packed off-road park, you know that there is nothing quite like the peaceful serenity when you shut an engine off and hear absolutely nothing but nature. It's hard to beat and definitely something that I recommend trying at least once. Last but certainly not least, what the else are you gonna do? I have been waiting 2 months to get my sled out, and other than a few quick flurries, there has been nothing that indicates we're actually even in winter here in Wisconsin, and there's nothing else for me to do when I need to get out on a machine and see the scenery. Sure, I could ride my four-wheeler around on the road, but if I'm gonna do that, why not just ride my bike anyway? Like I said to begin with, it's good for our mental health, it's good for us to get fresh air. It definitely can be dangerous, and you really do have to be careful of things like black ice and other drivers who are definitely not expecting to see a motorcycle in the winter, but make yourself visible, ride aggressively, hone your skills, and enjoy your motorcycle year-round. You will be glad you did. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, stay safe, stay swanky, get out and enjoy this beautiful world any chance you get. You never know how many days you have left on this planet, and when you're lying on your deathbed, you're not gonna be thinking about how you wish you would have spent a little bit more time polishing all of those bikes that you sold to somebody else and then later found online completely trashed. Please don't do that to yourself. Enjoy your motorcycle, enjoy your life. Peace.